place I've ever been.
Hello guys, welcome back to another lovely trading video. This one's going to be half recap, half strategy video. As we only took one trade, so doing a recap will only take about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to be kind of what my trading plan is while we're in this slow market with weak momentum. So firstly, the only trade we did was on BBIG. I think we made $30 on it. Yeah, $30 for about a 1 minute trade. So all we did was short it, and basically just in this move and locked in profits. Reason for it was $half resistance, and it was coming into a deviation. As you can see in real time, it was hitting the blue deviation 1 day 1 minute. Now onto the strategy, and what I'm kind of currently doing in this kind of market condition, because as you would notice if you trade this kind of strategy, if we go into the long hour charts, we're just not hitting these upper deviation bands. Literally no stock, I don't think one stock today hit any of these deviations. This is as well not even a clean one, so that's why I didn't even trade this, because it just wasn't clean enough. It closed outside of the deviation on there, so that just shows me it's not respected. So wouldn't even touch this stock, and that's the only one I think that even touched a deviation band. All these others just were either, most of them were actually below fair value, which was kind of strange. But yeah, you can see nothing, nowhere near. So the normal strategy of waiting for the 4 hour and daily charts to hit these third or second deviations, it's just not working. So what I'm now doing is using the lower time frames, 1 day 1 minute and 5 day 5 minute, and I'm using this with two other things: RSI and psychological levels. So by this I mean I'm looking for, firstly, on the 1 day 1 minute, for it to hit a deviation. On the 1 day 1 minute, I'm still not looking at the at the first deviations, because they don't tend to be that strong, but I'm looking at the second or third deviation on the 1 day 1 minute. And on the 5 day 5 minute, I'm looking at any deviation. It can be the first band, second or third band, does not matter. I'm looking also on RSI for a divergence, and on the psychological level I'm looking for a half, whole or $quarter resistance. So we'll use WBT as an example, and we will look here. So right now obviously you can't see where the bands are, and I won't be able to show you this now because it's not real time, and I can't go back in time for like a day or two, but I can kind of explain it without it. So firstly, I'm looking for 2 of the 3 criteria to be met for me to take a trade. So you can see on this up move, nothing was happening on RSI, and I don't know what was happening on deviation bands. So let's zoom in here, and let's zoom in here. So you can see we pushed all the way up here. The RSI never really moved over, so we didn't really get any divergence or anything. So here I wouldn't be looking for anything, and we came into a $half resistance, as you can see. Where I would then be looking for a trade is we pulled back, and then we look to hit this $half again. However, this time you can see on the RSI we're now diverting, and we're coming into a $half. So this shows me it's an entry for a short. So this is an area I would have looked to short, because it fits 2 of the criteria. And again, we can see if there's any more. So yeah, we shorted that. Going to have to look for maybe different price targets, because I don't know if it's always now going to come back to the VWAP as often as it did, but it's going to take some testing to do. So right now it would just kind of be sell when strength starts to show again. And again, we got another pump here. This time it was diverting, and we didn't really hit into a half level, but again we could have shorted again at this $half resistance. That would have been perfectly fine, and then it reversed at 63. But again, if you wanted to short the triple top or potential triple top, you could have done that quite well. Now you'll see we got a new pump. This time though, we're not diverting. We are diverting from the original high, but we are now making a higher high from the original pump. So this is no longer a divergence to me, because we are pushing a higher high. So I wouldn't be counting this as a divergence, and I wouldn't be looking to short, even though it's at a whole dollar resistance, and that tends to be the strongest. You've got half whole and quarter dollar resistances, whole dollar being the strongest, half dollar then being the next strongest, and then quarter dollar resistances aren't always that strong, especially on expensive stocks. If you're looking at stocks under 10, they tend to hold up well. So yeah, we came into this half dollar resistance, and again, for me, I wouldn't count this as a divergence, even though technically it is still diverging, but that's not a trade I would personally take, even though we are coming into that. So to me, that just fits one criteria, unless we were hitting into a deviation band, but I don't know if we are doing that right now. And again, same thing, it pulls back, and this time, this is where I may be looking for a short. Comes back, and then you can see we test this whole dollar again, but we're diverting from the original move. So to me, this is a short location, so I may have shorted this area, and that pulled back around 40 cents. And again, that's now kind of just the things I'm looking for. We can actually go through the trade I took today, BBIG, so you can see where the deviation band, second deviation band is at 257. So if we go to BBIG and pull up 257, we are here. So we know that the second deviation was here. Now we are pushing high highs, there's no divergence, so this will not meet my criteria. However, we were coming into a we were coming into a a standard deviation band, as we were kind of hitting a half dollar. So you can see here we hit our half dollar, hit our deviation, and then failed. So that kind of does meet two of the criteria, and that's why I took this short, because it did show me a half dollar resistance and a deviation band very close together. So to me, that showed like a good short opportunity. So this is kind of the new strategy I'm looking to do while we're in this kind of market. Could last for a few months. So I am definitely looking into improving on this trade idea, and I will be definitely doing some testing and all that for the rest of this week and into the weekend. So I may have a video up this weekend on the actual strategy that I'm now going to be trading, until we just get some momentum back. If, however, on these stocks, on these long-term time frames, we do get into these deviation bands, I'll still trade them, but there just won't be one every day anymore. So we just need to adjust into this new market conditions. So I'll be doing an update. I hope this helps if you're struggling right now, and if you got any questions, let me know. And that's it. Peace.